Hey friends, welcome to Nancy's Pantry, where we talk everything health, nutrition, and fitness, and we share the very best ingredients you want to be putting in your body and the ones that you really want to do your best to stay away from. Let's get started with today's video. Okay friends, in today's video we are going to be talking about a very, very important ingredient. It is near and dear to my heart because it is so important. We use it every single day. You can find it in hundreds of different food products that we buy at the store, and it is also one of the most controversial and most scammed ingredient that exists in the Canadian market, and that is oils. We're going to be talking about oils and fats. Well, specifically oils, but there is some fats obviously involved. Anyways, so to my left here, I've got the oils that we want to do our best to stay away from. And to my right, I've got the better alternative oils to these guys. So let's start with the bad. We always start with the bad and then we'll end with the good, because who doesn't like to end a video on a good note? So bad oils. We've got a lot of things out in the market like canola oil, corn oil, sunflower, we have soybean oil, we have safflower oil, and all of these oils are bad because they are extremely highly processed, highly refined, and chemical solvents like hexane is used in the process of refining these oils. Why do they use hexane? Because hexane and the oils heated at very, very, very extreme high temperatures will allow the solvent to extract every last drop from the vegetable. This is problem number one with this. Problem number two is that the vegetables being used here are the kinds of GMO products that we really don't want to be putting in our bodies. So not only are these GMO vegetables and products that are being used to make the oils, but now we're combining it with chemicals as well as high heat in order to refine and process them, which is why majority of these oils have this really light color. These oils, because they're so highly refined and so highly processed, and these chemicals that they're using, I mean, who knows if these chemicals actually leave the product by the time it's on the shelf? How do we know that the hexane has been removed from the product, or that it's been heated to a temperature where it's no longer part of the product? We don't know that, and we can't believe these marketers, especially because I mentioned controversy. And there's so much controversy about these highly processed chemicals. Which oil is better than the other? I don't know if you guys know, or if you guys remember, so many years ago, vegetable oil came out and it was so good for you. It was the best alternative because it was so affordable. Then came along, corn oil. Then came along, sunflower and safflower, and then came along canola. Canola was like the miracle oil that came to the market, and this was supposed to be the healthiest that you can find, and as well as it being budget friendly and cheap. The only reason these are cheap is because they are cheap to process. They are cheap to make. That's why they are cheap. That doesn't necessarily mean that the most expensive oil on the market is the best. It just means that these are not the great thing that you want to put in your body. When you heat them up in your food, it just gets heated again and it just becomes complete poison for your body. If you really need to use these products, because a lot of these oils, a lot of people buy them because they are neutral in flavor. They don't really have very strong flavors, and they're used for things like deep frying. Your French fries, your fried chicken steak, all those types of things. People like to use these oils to deep fry. Even we will use this on occasion when we deep fry here at home. We don't deep fry very often, but when we do, we have some of these oils available at home for that reason. However, again, this is not a product you want to be using every single day, because when you heat it up again, it becomes complete poison for your body, and these are highly, highly, highly inflammatory, poisonous oils for our bodies. So we don't want to be putting this stuff in our bodies every day. If we can avoid it, that's even better. But if you really want to use these oils for deep frying, the only way and the best quality of these types of oils that you can find are organic, expeller pressed of these versions of oils. So you can find organic, non-GMO, expeller pressed canola oil, corn oil, sunflower, safflower, all of those. If you can find that, that is the top-notch quality and safest quality that you can find. What is the difference? What does expeller pressed mean? It means that they're not using high heat like they use for these ones. They're not highly refining the oil. They're just using a press to get the oil out of the vegetables. It's organic, it's non-GMO, and it's a much safer quality of these oils. If you can find that, it is going to be a little bit more expensive, but if you really need to fry, if you really want to deep fry, those are the best quality that you can get of these oils. They will obviously be slightly cheaper than getting, avocado oil to deep fry, but just remember, organic, non-GMO, expeller pressed of these oils. You can find them. You're not going to find them in these ginormous, 3-liter bottles. You may not find that out on the market. You may have to look on Amazon in order to find it. If I can find some, I'll try and link them in the description box below. But for the most part, you're going to have to go to like health food stores and things like that in order to find the expeller pressed organic non-GMO versions of these. Let's get into some of the better alternatives to these oils. Okay, so there are plenty of different options out in the market that are healthier fats and oils that we can definitely use on a daily basis. Some of them are obviously more expensive than others, but for the most part, there are some that are a lot more affordable. I'm going to talk about one that isn't normally talked about in, these types of videos. I never really see people really talk about butter. But butter is definitely a fat. A lot of people wouldn't consider it an oil, but it is. It's a dairy-based fat that we can definitely use for cooking. It's used in baking, so why can't we use it in cooking? So I've just got some regular unsalted butter. Now, the thing with butter here in Canada is the very best top-notch quality butter. I mean, this is fine. It's affordable. The ingredients is just cream. You can't go wrong. The only problem with a lot of the butter in Canada is that it is not made with grass-fed, grass-finished milk from grass-fed, grass-finished cows. So if I can show you something that is completely different from this butter to this one, I'm going to show it to you right now. This is grass-fed, grass-finished butter. This is an Irish-based grass-fed, grass-finished butter, and you can tell the difference in the color. I'm going to open this up just a little bit to show you guys what I'm talking about and how grass-fed milk and dairy is so much better for you and why. And we're going to see in just the color of the butter, we're going to see the difference. This is your regular Canadian butter. This is your grass-fed. Can you guys see the difference in the color? This is like almost orange because the fat quantity in this is so much better, and the quality of the milk that is coming from the cows, these are grass-fed cows, meaning that they graze in the grass and they eat a natural diet that is natural to them. They graze in the grass, in the herbs, all that kind of stuff. So we get the best quality fats from grass-fed, grass-finished milk and beef. So I can't find this butter here in Canada. This is the oh my gosh, I can't even remember the name. I bought this in the US when we went last year. Yes, last year, but it's still good. You guys see, we froze it and we've been using it. I use it a lot for putting on my toast or whatever, can be. That's why it's still around in the fridge and it lasts a really long time. So we often freeze our butter when it's on sale. Stock up. This is great when you want to make your eggs, when you want to make your weekend pancakes. It's awesome. Again, for baking your cookies, your cakes, things like that. Coconut oil. Coconut oil is a great oil, and it's another one that has received a lot of controversy just because so many people for the longest time. See, the thing is that information comes in waves. So we'll get this big study that happened and they find out that coconut oil is really, really healthy for you because of this, this, and this. And then someone will come around and say that for years and years and years, they've made a study that shows that it's actually not great because people end up with heart disease or they end up being obese. I don't believe that study because coconuts are something that our ancestors had around in certain parts of this world, and this is what they used. So when we go back to basics, why would it be bad for us? It was never bad for them. Just a question. Anyways, so this is organic, extra virgin, unrefined, cold pressed coconut oil. This is how you want to buy coconut oil. You can buy refined coconut oil. A lot of people go for the refined coconut oil when they are baking or cooking because the flavor is a little bit more subtle. That's because it's been processed. We want the clean stuff. So we want organic, extra virgin, unrefined. That's how you want it, cold pressed. This stuff is great. I use this a lot in baking as well. Some people worry that the coconut oil is going to give a lot of flavor to baking. It actually doesn't. It gives a little bit more flavor when you're cooking things. So I like to use it in a lot of like Thai food and stuff like that, but it's a great oil to use on a daily basis. The only thing about this oil that is different from most of these other ones here is that this in cold temperatures obviously becomes solid. So you can see that it's solid. It's not melted completely. If you put this in a hot area, it will definitely melt to a liquid. So keep that in mind when you're using it, you know, say on your skin, in your hair, anything like that, because you need to know that that's going to solidify. That's also why we don't want to put it in like our ears and stuff. A lot of people don't like to use coconut oil because they say it clogs their pores. And you know, it's not good to put in your ears if you have ear infections or any sort of itchiness, because it will just solidify and create a layer. So we don't want that. Let's talk about ghee. This is another thing that a lot of people don't talk about. I'm sure majority of the South Asian Desi brown community knows a lot about ghee because this is obviously something that is used in their cooking all the time. This is also a lot like coconut oil in the sense that it's hard when it's cold and it melts basically to a clear liquid almost when it's heated up. So ghee, you want to make sure it is grass-fed, grass-finished. The specific brand here is not, but there is, like, I think Lee's ghee. There's a bunch of different brands that are organic, and you can find grass-fed as well. We just have this generic one. I mean, it's got a completely different color from regular butter. It's clarified butter, and so it's really good for you for a bunch of reasons. First of all, the omega-3s are high. It's got a good quality of omega-3 chains, got good quality CLAs. You've got, I can never say this properly, conjugated linoleic acids. So it's a great source of all of those things, which are great for our health. Olive oil. This is another controversial oil. This is avocado oil, but olive oil. Olive oils are part of the category of polyunsaturated oils, and so obviously they come from olives and they're great. You want to make sure that you always buy extra virgin cold pressed. That is what's important when we're talking about olive oils. And just know that there are certain olive oils that are great for cooking and other ones that are like seasoned for seasoning or drizzling over your pasta when you're done plating it, you know, drizzling over a steak or salad dressings. We've got one here just as an example, which is this one right here. I'm going to talk about that. But there's been a lot of controversy and scam about olive oils and avocado oil, and we'll get to that, but it's pretty much the same thing. You have to be really careful with olive oils. What's important is not only that it's extra virgin and cold pressed, but that it is local. If you're buying a lot of olive oil that comes from different parts of the world, then unfortunately it's harder to track the quality. So for example, here we've got this organic extra virgin olive oil. I've showed you guys this before. This comes from Costco. It's the Costco brand. And this one comes from, it says imported, so we know. So you see something like this says that it has oils from different parts of the world. So it's bottled in Italy, but it has select oils from Portugal, Tunisia, Italy, and Greece. Now, normally I'd be like, this isn't great, but it is organic and it is cold pressed. And we're hoping that this oil is all just olive oil, because when you have it coming from so many different parts of the world, these parts of the world are great because they're olive producers. Portugal, Greece, Italy, Spain. These are great countries to have your olive oil from. Tunisia, we have a really, really good organic olive oil that we get at Costco as well. It has like a yellow horse in the front. It's also from Tunisia and it's really, really good quality. But when you have things coming from, you know, Morocco or, you know, some other Asian countries, I would be really careful, because that's most likely a scam. You're paying for olive oil, you're paying the price of olive oil, but you might not be getting it. This one here is an organic olive oil from Spain. This is the type of oil that I use to season my food, so my pasta, I use it a lot after heating up my dinner, or heating up my lunch. I'll sprinkle a little bit on top. And this Kirkland, so the Costco olive oil, and this one right here, we use a lot for cooking. They're a little bit cheaper in comparison to, say, the Spanish one. I mean, this is like a $20 bottle of olive oil, so we have to be extremely careful with this one. We're not gonna use that one to cook, but these ones here are great for cooking. I wouldn't use it for baking because the flavor is stronger when it comes to olive oil, so definitely use it, you can use it for like your stir fries, roasting your veggies in the oven, or just cooking, normal cooking. Avocado oil. So if it was more affordable, I would tell you to go out and buy this stuff in gallons, because this is your 100% healthier alternative to this. But it's not that cheap. So you can get a bottle like this at Costco. The olive oil, you can get a ginormous like 20-liter jug for, what did we pay, babe? Like 30 bucks or something on sale for this big ginormous box. It's like a box. And it's like 20 liters of extra virgin olive oil. You can buy that when it's on sale. But these right here, these go for about $10 a bottle, sometimes $11, $12, which is not bad considering it's a liter. It is avocado oil. And this brand specifically is really good. You have to be extremely careful because there's been a really huge scam recently with avocado oil going around. You want to make sure that it's coming from a reliable source. But Chosen Foods was not on the article that talked about specific brands that actually mixed things like olive oil or vegetable oils. They would cut it with the olive oil in order to be able to produce more of it. So you want to be really careful with that. But Chosen Foods is a great brand. This is great for everything. It's good for baking, it's good for frying, it's good for cooking, and it's good for that because it's got a high smoke point, neutral flavor. The only thing is, again, buying a good quality one, it can be a little bit pricier. It's probably the most expensive in comparison to all of the oils here for the amount that you get. So if you find this brand, or even better, at a cheaper, more affordable price, then definitely let us know in the comment section below, because we are always looking for great offers and deals for our Canadian peeps. Now, I want to talk to you about smoke points, because smoke points are important, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video. Smoke points, meaning to which temperature the oil begins to smoke. You want to be really careful with that. You want to be really careful that you're using these oils for the right things, because if you reach that smoke point, you're looking at basically damaging all the health benefits, and your body's not going to get all of those advantages. So butter. Butter smoke point is around 250 to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's good for baking. Majority of baking, we all bake at about 350. Even like if you were to buy cookie dough that's ready made at the store, it all goes into the oven at about 350. So butter is a great way to be used in baking. Olive oil. Olive oil is pretty good. It goes to about 400 degrees. This is also great to put in the oven to roast. I wouldn't really use it for baking because the flavor is a little bit stronger, so you're going to taste that in your cakes or muffins or cookies or anything like that you're baking. So I wouldn't use that, but at least to roast in the oven, to cook, pan-sear or anything like that, you can definitely use olive oil. The ghee goes up to about 450, so it's a good one for high temperatures. So if you're gonna roast something in the oven, it's really good. I love to use ghee for my sauces, for my marinades. I basically take it, melt it down, add all of my spices to it, and I love to rub everything. Fish, chicken. I rubbed my Thanksgiving turkey in it. I stuffed it with ghee. It was really good, and it even made whatever I had left over, it made really good gravy for us to have on the side, for us to pour over our turkey. Coconut oil. I like to use it for baking because, again, its highest smoke point is 350, so it's good for baking. You could also use it for, cooking your eggs, making your pancakes, things like that, but you really don't want to go over 350, otherwise you're losing all of those CLAs and the great things that coconut has to offer. Avocado oil. This is your highest. It goes up to 550. Majority of stoves go up to that temperature. That's the broil. So it will go up to about 500, 550. So this is an oil that is great for deep frying. Again, cooking anything in the oven. I'm pointing to my oven in the back here, but cooking anything in the oven for really high temperatures, this is your best oil. Again, it's It's not as budget friendly, but it's good. So those are all your cooking oils. You really want to be careful. You can find these numbers anywhere on the internet as well if you're ever using an oil and you want to know when to stop the temperature. But these are your good oils. Go out and find them. I'm sure you're going to find great deals. And just keep in mind all of the important things that, you know, these oils have to offer. Stay away from these ones, stick to these ones. Well, that's everything in today's video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you guys want to continue seeing videos where we talk about all of the best ingredients that exist in the Canadian market that are good for your health, then please subscribe to our channel. Click the bell icon so that you're notified every time we have a new video. And I've got a little guest. Comment, like, share, follow us on all of our social medias, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And we can't wait to have another video for you next time. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. You okay?